Hi, very happy to be here with you today. And next week we are going to have our yearly company retreat. It's going to be exciting to see the team in person because, as you know, we work remotely. Yes, we met most of us a few months ago for a training on AI, but now it's that time of the year where we meet all together, we share ideas, and we go back home with a huge to-do list of things we want to do. And in preparation for that, I've done some work on our technical stack, on reflecting on how many components we built across the year, what is their state of maturity, and what they will enable us to do in the future. And so let me share our diagram. So in essence, we have an infrastructure layer that is built on top of LionWeb. LionWeb is becoming more and more a foundational component for us. We are investing in contributing to LionWeb together with the other amazing contributors. And as this ecosystem is maturing, it's becoming more and more important for the rest of our system. We have then Starlazu, which is now relying more and more on LionWeb. And basically, if LionWeb is a generic infrastructure for language engineering or model-driven development, if you want, Starlazu had a special focus on processing textual languages. So on top of LionWeb, we built capabilities specifically designed for parsing textual languages, resolve symbols in textual languages, generating test code for textual languages, and so on. So we have a series of components that until now we call Colazu, Tailazu, Sharplazu, and Tailazu, that we are going now to rename to underline the fact that they are part of the same family. So we are going to rename them in Starlazu Kotlin, Starlazu TypeScript, Starlazu Python, and Starlazu C#. Around them, we have other components like Starlazu Specs, tools, Protostar, that we are working on is another tool that is a DSL plus a tool that will facilitate the development of parser even further, because in the last years we invested on creating the capabilities to develop parser much more rapidly than we used to do. And with Protostar, we move one notch up with that. So we have LionWeb and Starlazu on top of that. If you want, this is our technological bedrock on top of which we build the things that clients perceive as valuable. This is our tools, the one that make it possible for us to develop other stuff that are perceived as valuable for clients at a good quality and rapidly. But what the client perceives is components and above. Components are divided in two categories. We have language-specific components that are mostly parser, symbol resolver, type calculator for a variety of languages, in particular legacy languages. So we have them for RPG, CL, COBOL, AGL, PL SQL, SAS, Teradata SQL, Firebird SQL. We have also another tool for extracting code from the IBMI, something that we added recently. So we have these components that we license, and then we introduce another category of components that are basically components that we use to analyze code bases. For example, we have a component to extract idioms, and I'm going to talk next week at MenderCon about code idioms mining. We have other components with different levels of maturity for test generation, summaries generation, migration planning, dead code identification, clones detection, diagram generation. All of these components are orchestrated by the code-based analysis orchestrator. And we're adopting an architecture that makes possible to develop independently the language-specific component and the language-agnostic components and combine them in a single pipeline. So on top of the infrastructure layer and on top of the components, we have the solutions. Now, we develop parser, TSLs, and transpiler on demand, but over time we want to increase our catalog of ready-to-go solution. Now, first of all, we have transpilers, and transpiler from RPG to Java and Python. Then we are investing on the Code Insight Studio that, if you want, is the front end to all the language analysis that we can do on the components level. So, for example, we can identify idioms or generate summaries. In the Code Insight Studio, we can visualize those, the idioms and the summaries, and benefit of them while exploring a code base. We are improving the playground with some more things to come, and we are working on a tool for documenting code bases. So something connected to the Code Insight Studio, probably a sibling of the same family. Then we have an empty box that is for vertical DSLs. Right now, we develop DSLs for clients that ask for them. But our long-term goal is develop DSLs for specific domains and have them available to license them and to further develop them when requested by clients. So this is, at a glance, our technical stack, our ideas about our components, and some of the ideas about future development. I'm happy of the progress that we've done on the infrastructure layer that is become more and more solid and help us develop components faster and faster. But in the future, we will focus more on ready-to-go solutions. So I would be very happy to hear about your comments, suggestions, things that we could improve, things that you think are missing. And yeah, I'm looking forward to our company retreat. So thank you. Bye.